the 40-hour work week is a joke. And I agree with that. That's true. But if you really think about it, in actuality, the joke is on you. See, this probably is not the message that you want to hear, but it's probably the message that you need to hear. And so please don't vilify me. Don't shoot the messenger. I come from a place of love, right? Because when I look across the landscape of the internet, it seems everybody likes to watch videos about people complaining about how hard things are. And I don't dismiss the fact that times are hard. But when you think about the 40-hour work week, think about the fact that you chose that life. I chose that life. And it's not something that I chose for one instance, for one moment. It's a decision that I make, that a lot of people make every single day. Every day that you wake up and you get in your car to go to that job, to put in your 40 hours, you are choosing to do that, right? And a lot of people will complain about the 40-hour work week because of wages. We simply don't make enough to survive. Lower class, middle class, upper middle class, it costs a lot to live in this world. And I do not absolve corporations and companies from their responsibility that they play in the fact that it's so hard to live in society today. Should they pay livable wages? 100%. But if you woke up today in 2025 and you don't realize by now that we live in a capitalistic society and that the name of the game is to get as much production out of people for as little money as possible, then you must have been living under a rock every day before this, because that is the name of the game and that is the system. That is the trap. It's designed to keep you so tired and so distracted, so overwhelmed, so overworked that you don't have time to think about how to build a life for yourself. And when you think about your employer, you think about the person that's paying you and compensating you for those 40 hours that you're putting in every week. A lot of times we neglect to consider the fact that that person who started that company, and I'm not talking about your CEO, I'm not talking about your manager, I'm not talking about your director, whatever label you have for your executive board or whatever labels you have for your leadership team at your company. When you think about the person who built that company that you work for, they took it upon themselves to do something different other than subject themselves every day for the rest of their lives to working that same 40 hours that many of us choose to work every single day. You see, we all possess the ability to do something more in this life. And I feel like I can come from a place of experience in saying that as a almost 40-year-old man who's worked the 40-hour work week since I was 16, and maybe give or take some hours in my, high school ages, but probably no less than 25 to 40 hours. It's something that I realize is a decision, and I can complain about it. I'm not necessarily happy about it, but you have to accept some level of accountability to say that I'm here, I've arrived at this point in my life, and I'm forced to work this 40 hours, not forced, but I'm subjected to work this 40 hours a week because I've done nothing other than accept my lot in life, than accept the idea of somebody giving me money rather than me going out and figuring out how to create systems and products and services that allow me to earn money on my own time with unlimited cap and the potential freedom that many of us seek that's stripped of us when we have to go to those 40-hour-a-week jobs and we have to tell somebody that we want to take time off or that we need to go take our child or spouse to the doctor or to go have breakfast even with our loved ones. We neglect the fact that everything In every company that exists, somebody took the initiative to step out on faith and do something more. Right? So the work week in and of itself is not a joke, right? The wages might be a joke. But what really is the punchline of the joke is not necessarily the work week. It's the mindset of those of us who partake in the system, who repeat the cycle every single day. So look, let me break this down. These are reasons why you're stuck in the 40-hour work week, and these are things that you need to change, that I need to change, if we hope to do anything more in this life. And if you're not willing to do something to change your situation, to change your circumstance, to change your outcomes, then my advice to you, and I say this with all love, because I say this to myself at this point where I can have some level of self-reflection and accountability. If you're not going to do something, then stop complaining, be quiet, shut up, get back to work. I say that with the utmost respect, because it's not enough to complain, but it is enough to be so uncomfortable with your current situation that you step out on faith to actually take the necessary steps to change your life. But 5 reasons why people are stuck in the 40-hour work week, and 5 things you need to consider is mindset. A lot of us have been conditioned to be the good student. It starts when you're in elementary school. Starts even earlier than that. You play by the rules. You check off all the boxes. You do what you're instructed to do, and you receive some sort of compensation. It could be grades. If it's your job, it's a paycheck. If you do a little bit more than what's expected, you might get a small raise, a gold star, right? We're conditioned to think that that is the path. That is the reward. Is that if we listen and we're obedient and we stay within the lines, then our path is paved for us. But we can only get what they allow us to get and nothing more. And the other part of mindset is a lot of us have forgotten our power. We forgot that we have free will. We forgot that we have big, beautiful minds and the ability to be creative and the ability to push the boundaries of what's possible. We stopped dreaming and started conforming. And once that mindset, once that indoctrination consumed us, we just became robots. We became machines. We forgot that we have the ability to wake up and do anything that we want to do on any given day. And you need to reframe your mindset so that you can maybe not necessarily do it during your 9 to 5, but whenever you have free time, your 5 to 9, if you will, your 5 to 2 a.m., whatever that time looks like for you, whenever you clock out for the day, you need to tap in and remind yourself who you are and what you're capable of. So mindset, key. The next thing is fear of the unknown. We're comfortable because this is something that we've known our whole lives. Stepping out into the abyss, not knowing what building something for yourself looks like, not knowing where your next paycheck's gonna come from, not knowing how fast it's gonna come, how fast your business is gonna grow. All of that is stifling you because you'd rather live in mediocrity than step out on faith and take the chance to live in abundance, which is absolutely crazy, but it's not uncommon. It is the norm. It is not the exception. It is the rule. It is the game most people play. And your companies, your employers, they know that. They know that it's hard out here and that they can keep you where they want to keep you or pay you what they want to pay you, because there's always that possibility that you may not be able to get another job and you may not be able to get it at the rate that you're getting now. And they bank on the fact that you play small, that you live confined to a box, that you live in fear, because they know they got you right where you want you. But it's your responsibility to understand that you can create something for yourself. You can create your own wealth. You can do something more. You don't have to be dependent on your employer. It's scary to think what happens when you lose your job, but it's even scarier to think what happens if I stay there for the rest of my life and I never take a chance on myself. So fear, you got to break free of fear. Next, you lack the skills. And it's nobody's fault that you lack the skills but your own, because you're distracted by everything but the things that will help build you up to be better. You'd much rather scroll on social media than read a book. You'd much rather watch Netflix than watch a course on Udemy or even for free on YouTube to level up and learn a new skill. You'd rather punch the clock every single day doing the same thing that you know you hate to do every single day than take a chance and fail trying something different and learning through those failures in the process. You lack the skills because you lack the discipline to step outside of what you do that's keeping you exactly where you are, to try something and experiment with something that could potentially change your life, something different. Something that if even you weren't able to build a business around could potentially help you level up and get an even better job. If that's where you want to play, if that's your comfort zone, good. But why be at the lowest level doing a job for minimum wage when you can at least possess the skills to get a better job that's going to pay you a higher wage? If you got to play the game, at least play it at the highest level, right? So you lack the skills. Another thing is a lot of us live in delusion. We're thinking something magical is going to happen that's going to change our lives, that is going to propel us to the next level. We're all banking on hitting the lottery, the 1 in a million, 100 million chance. And I'm just here to tell you, for a majority of us, that's not going to happen. And for those of us who it does happen for, is that rewarding? Do you even know what to do with that money? Do you even know how to make that money last? Do you know how to build additional wealth with those funds because it was handed to you? Grow up and figure out a way to generate wealth for yourself so that in the event that money goes, as long as you have your mind, you'll always be able to get it back. You'll always be able to create something new and maybe even something better. Don't be in this world of delusion thinking that somebody or something is going to help you. It's probably not going to happen. I have to help ourselves, myself. Stop living in delusion. And the last thing I'm gonna give y'all is y'all are listening to the wrong people. You're listening to every other voice in the world except for yourself. You're telling friends and family about your big ideas. Mind you, a lot of times people are just talking. But to the ones who are inspired to take action, you're telling your ideas to people and they're diminishing your aspirations. They're telling you things like, what are you talking about? That'll never happen. That'll never work. Stay the course. Get you a good job. Get you a degree. Get you a 401k. Work for the next 25 years, 30 years, 40 years until you're retired. And then live the good life, their interpretation of the good life, when you're already too old to really enjoy the fruits of your labor. If anything, you might be at the end of your life because you've given your whole life to everything and everyone but yourself. You're listening to a bunch of people on YouTube, and YouTube is not a bad place, right? But a lot of people would much rather indulge in entertainment in the form of people complaining, being a sounding board, feeling frustrated, hearing other people vent their frustrations with no real actionable steps or advice to help you level up or move beyond your frustrations. When there's an abundance of people out there who will give you the steps, the tips, the advice that if you heed can help elevate you to where you want to be. But a lot of times we dismiss that. A lot of times our attention span is so short we can't even watch 5 minutes of educational content, but can indulge in an hour of nonsense. You're not focused. You're spending 4 hours a day on entertaining content and then complain that you don't have the time to do something more. And if anything, by now it's nighttime and you're getting prepared to do what? Go to bed so you can wake up and go to that same 40-hour-a-week job that you're going to be complaining about tomorrow, the day after that, and the day after that. You're listening to the wrong people and you're not taking the time to acknowledge the fact that if you really want to look out into the world, if you really want to hold yourself to some level of accountability, the range of people who are being successful on a day-to-day basis are not limited to older individuals. There is a 19-year-old out there right now making what a lot of us make in 1 month. They're making what we make in a year in a month. That should give you the knowledge to know that it's achievable. A 19-year-old with limited life experience, but highly confident and willing to experiment and fail and learn in the process. If they're able to do that, you are also able to do that. I am also able to do that. You have way more life experience. And I'm not saying that that makes a huge difference, but it should wake you up to let you know that you've been playing the game the way you've been playing it for the past 10, 15, 20 years. And you got somebody who's been alive less than the amount of time you've been playing the game that's already exceeded your lot in life today. So anywho, I'm trying something different here, but it's my lunch break. These were the thoughts that were circulating, and I'm coming from a place of love. I love y'all just like I'm learning to love myself and learning to wake myself up to the fact that this is the life I chose. And hopefully you understand, this is the life that you chose. We work 40 hours a week, frustrated, thinking to ourselves, we could be doing so much more with this time. And I agree with that. Most of the things you do at your day job are not serving you. You could be way more creative and way more productive in generating way more value into the world than what you're doing right now in those 8 hours, that 9 to 5. But you can't get there until you step out on faith. You accept that while it sucks that you have to do this, this is what you have to do for now. This is what you've accepted, but you don't have to accept it beyond this moment. You can do something right now to change the trajectory of your whole life if you just accept the fact that you have free will, you have control, and you don't have to make the decision every day to be the same person that you are today, tomorrow, and the day after that, and the day after that. The moment we wake up and realize it's our responsibility to break free of the chains that have been placed on us is the day that we grow and we can move on to do the things in this world that we want to do. Anywho, that's all I got. Love y'all. Hopefully everybody is good. Hopefully everybody is blessed. And until the next time, take it easy.